My relatives thought they could trick an old woman out of her house and keep the inheritance for themselves. What happened next exposed lies that had been buried for years. My grandma was the kind of person who trusted everyone. She was sweet, soft-spoken, and believed family was supposed to look out for each other. That made her an easy target. After my grandfather passed away, my grandma owned the house outright. It wasn't a mansion, but it was the home she had lived in for over 40 years. It meant everything to her. A few relatives suddenly started visiting more often. At first, they acted helpful. One cousin offered to handle paperwork. An aunt said grandma shouldn't live alone anymore. An uncle kept talking about family planning and protecting her assets. It sounded caring. It wasn't. They were trying to convince her to sign documents she didn't fully understand. They told her it was for insurance purposes and future convenience, but I noticed the papers looked strange. The wording didn't make sense to me, so I asked questions. That's when they started calling me difficult. One evening, I visited Grandma and found her confused and upset. She told me they had been pressuring her for weeks and saying she was too old to manage things. They were trying to make her feel helpless. I told her not to sign anything else and took the papers to a lawyer friend for review. The documents were serious. One set would have given a relative partial control over the house. Another would have made it much easier for them to transfer ownership later. In plain language, they were trying to quietly take advantage of her. We stopped it immediately. But the karma came later. It turned out the cousin who had been pushing the paperwork had personal debt he hadn't told anyone about. The aunt who acted like a financial expert had actually been dealing with legal problems of her own. And the uncle who kept talking about protecting the family was later exposed for using money from another relative. Once the lies started falling apart, the family turned on each other fast. The same people who had been acting united suddenly started blaming one another. One of them admitted they had all expected Grandma to sign before anyone checked. They had planned to use kindness as a weapon. Instead, they exposed their own greed. Grandma kept her house, and after everything happened, she changed her will so the people who pressured her were left out completely. They thought they were the smartest people in the room. In the end, they just made sure everyone saw who they really were.